When Deborah Roberts stepped in front of the cameras for the first time since the controversy began, the world seemed to pause. This wasn't a press event. There were no flashing lights, no reporters shouting questions. It was a quiet appearance during a global humanitarian conference she has supported for years. But this time, her words carried a different weight. There was a stillness in the room as Deborah began to speak. Her voice, calm yet unwavering, filled the space with measured grace. "There comes a time," she began, "when silence can be mistaken for weakness, and truth must be spoken, not to defend oneself, but to defend what is right." Those words landed with profound emotion. They weren't defensive, they weren't bitter, they were a declaration of dignity. Deborah Roberts, the respected journalist, the loving wife, and the woman who has quietly inspired millions, wasn't there to fight back against the noise. She was there to reclaim her voice. Without naming anyone, she spoke about what it feels like to live in a world where private lives are often dissected by strangers, where truth gets buried under headlines, and where even the strongest souls can grow weary under the weight of false narratives. "I've spent my career searching for truth," she said, her tone soft but firm. "But nothing prepares you for when the search turns inward, when the truth you're trying to protect is your own." The audience listened in absolute silence. For years, people have seen Deborah Roberts as the epitome of professionalism, warm, thoughtful, and composed. But in that moment, they saw something more: vulnerability. Her voice trembled slightly as she admitted, "Even those who stand for truth can feel broken when lies become louder than reason." That line echoed across the room and across the internet as her address went viral within hours. Social media lit up with admiration. Fans described her speech as brave, healing, and necessary. Hashtags began trending, not because of controversy, but because of the raw humanity she displayed. For a woman who has built her career reporting other people's stories, this moment was her own, and she chose to tell it with quiet grace rather than anger. She went on to share how deeply the ordeal had affected her family, especially her husband, Al Roker, and their children. With heartfelt honesty, she revealed the emotional toll that public scrutiny can take on even those accustomed to the spotlight. When you're in the public eye, people think they know your story, but they only see the headlines, not the heart. They forget that behind every name is a family trying to hold each other up. At that, her voice softened. She paused briefly, gathering herself before continuing. "I tell my children that truth has a power all its own. It might not roar, but it endures, even when the world chooses noise." It was a deeply personal glimpse into the quiet strength she's known for, and it resonated with millions who have followed the Roker family for decades. For many, Deborah's words served as a reminder that even those who seem unshakable feel the weight of untruths, and that strength doesn't mean silence, it means speaking with integrity. As she continued, Deborah addressed with gentle but deliberate precision the way media can twist reality in the pursuit of attention. When stories are written not to inform, but to inflame, truth becomes the first casualty. Her tone remained even, her composure intact, but there was a quiet fire beneath the calm. It was the voice of a woman who has seen the cost of sensationalism up close, who has reported on others' pain, and who now finds herself experiencing it firsthand. Observers described the moment as spine-chilling, not because she raised her voice, but because she didn't need to. When she finally declared, "I will not let falsehoods define me, nor will I allow fear to dictate my voice," the room erupted into a standing ovation. It was a moment of stillness transformed into strength and the kind of authenticity that leaves a lasting imprint. Within hours, Deborah's words spread far beyond the event hall. Messages of support poured in from colleagues, friends, and fans. Fellow journalists commended her courage and poise. One former colleague wrote, "Deborah Roberts has spent her life giving others a voice. Today she gave one to herself, and to anyone who's ever been misunderstood." Another commented, "She didn't defend herself, she reminded us what dignity looks like." And meanwhile, Al Roker, known for his warmth, optimism, and resilience, has remained quietly by his wife's side. Those close to the couple describe him as steady and devoted, choosing to let Deborah's words stand on their own. "Al is her rock," one friend said. He doesn't need to say much. His support speaks volumes. And in many ways, that's what their relationship has always symbolized: balance, respect, and enduring partnership. They've weathered storms before, from Al's public health battles to the pressures of fame, but this one was different. This one required emotional strength, not just physical. What makes Deborah's speech unforgettable isn't the controversy that preceded it, but the grace that followed. There was no blame, no bitterness. Instead, she transformed pain into purpose. Integrity doesn't crumble under pressure, it shines brightest through it. That single line has since been shared millions of times across platforms, a testament to the calm courage that defines her. She concluded her statement with words that have become a rallying cry for anyone feeling voiceless. "Justice begins when fear ends, and I choose not to be afraid." The crowd stood once again, many wiping away tears, not out of sympathy, but out of admiration. Because in that moment, Deborah Roberts reminded everyone watching that strength doesn't always shout, it sometimes simply stands tall. She showed that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's a form of courage. That truth, even when whispered, carries more weight than 1,000 rumors, and that dignity, once chosen, can't be taken away. As one viewer beautifully wrote online, Deborah Roberts didn't just speak, she showed us how to rise above the noise. In an era when outrage sells and empathy is rare, her voice, calm, honest, and resolute, felt like a balm. And perhaps that's the real story here, not about scandal or speculation, but about a woman who stood before the world and reminded all of us that grace still matters.